Okay, hello. This is SaccFlight Tutorials episode number 2. So, I've kind of got a little list here of the things we're going to go over today. Most of it's going to be environment stuff, and then some of it's going to be just making your planes look better. How to add sounds, change things, particle effects. Um, just just how to do general stuff to make your world aesthetically pleasing. So the first thing I usually want to do is I'll get all of my stuff set up for my jet. So for now we'll use the SF1, and I'm gonna make some MFDs. They're not gonna be anything too crazy, but they are just gonna be there, kind of make everything look pretty. So we'll set our MFDs up like this. Okay, so now we have our MFDs, and they're open or ready. We're going to go into Blender. Okay, so from here, typically what I'll do is I will reference something. So for now, we're just going to do the F-18 radar page. So I'll search up a picture. One second. So here we can kind of see what's going on with the radar. So typically what I'll do is I'll create a plane. It's the most optimized. I will scale it down to size. Get all the basis of everything laid out. Usually I wouldn't be doing it this fast. But typically what I would do is I wouldn't overlap any images or anything. I would just reference from what I can see, and that usually works pretty good for me. However, crap, I'm not gonna be able to with that one. We'll do this one. So we can save this, and then we can take it into Blender, and we can apply that texture. So download this, and we can click Z and go into material mode. So now you'll see we have a radar page being displayed. So what that means we can do is we can kind of just overlap everything, make everything look really pretty, which is good. At least for me. I don't know if people actually look at the MFDs, but I do. I think they're cool. So that's what we're gonna do. Doesn't need to be anything perfect. It just needs to be close enough to where in Unity everything is gonna align and look pretty. I'm not gonna show how to make a functioning radar because that's TMI, but so from here, what else do we need? I need to quit being an idiot. That's what I need to do. Okay. What's going on here? Okay, so what we can do again, you can use shift to select multiple objects at the same time, and then control J to join those objects together. Okay, so we can get this first one aligned. We can just scoot these over. for now, that'll work. It's a really crappy model, but for now, it'll work. So we can export this. I'm just going to save it here. And we are going to just drag and drop that into your assets. It'll copy and paste it. It's a little bit quicker. And from here, you want to position everything, get everything where you want it to be. What the heck? Oh. That's why. Okay, so cool. Now we have our radar. And we can do ourselves a favor and make it look pretty. Okay, cool. So now we have a radar page. Let's make sure this is right. Okay, this is confusing me. There we go. And then usually what I'll do is I'll create a 3D object and then a TMP, and I'll just name it something like radar text and match the color. Typically gonna do this just because it keeps it centered. You see when it gets small, then it offsets this axis here. So typically I'm gonna keep it pretty, or I'm gonna use this and change the scaling rather than the text size. And then this is backwards, so we need to flip it. Okay, then we can do this. Okay, cool. So now we can bring up our reference. So for now we'll just put TWS. Y'all can go all out on the referencing. I've done a lot of Unity work today, so kind of tired of Unity right now. But okay, and then you're gonna put this in vehicle only. Typically, what I'll do is I'll turn it off, because you're not gonna have a radar page open when you're on the ground, right? It's kind of pointless. So I'll put it on the gear animation. So whenever the gear reaches 2 seconds in, toggles this object on. So until you're off the ground, it will not pull your radar up. So this allows you to have a little bit of diversity in your MFDs. So you could do something like what I've done. I've done a HUD page on the left, FCS bit page on the right, and then the gear comes up and it switches to your stores page and a radar page, just for referencing. But you can put a lot of things on the gear animation. It kind of fits a lot of stuff, at least for me. Okay. Now, what else do we want to do? So now that, and y'all can do that on really anything y'all want. You can use the gauge controllers to make like functioning MFDs, like HSIs and stuff like that. You can do that. That's what I do. It definitely helps. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start transitioning over towards the ground stuff. So we'll start off with radios, because radios are important. So you want to click your SF1 right here, create an empty, and name it sav_radio, just like that. You can copy this name, paste it in here, and you should have a script for a sav radio. Now you can assign a seat. I typically leave 0 so everybody can talk. And then you're going to bring it over here, back into your SF1, and you're going to create a new extension behavior, and you're just going to drag and drop the radio in. So now you'll have radios, so communications, which is good, but it has nowhere to go. So you should just have a little prefab in SaccFlight, the accessories prefab folder, and it should give you a radio base. Okay, so now that that's done, oh, another thing, if your VRChat world, like your spawner, if it doesn't come with anything, it's just a blank hierarchy whenever you get in, other than the main camera and the directional light, just type in VRCW, go to all, and you can have another VRChat world here. You can just drag and drop it in. Okay, so let's make a real quick, just to show how to keep some details on these airplanes. Let's make a quick livery for the SF1. So we'll go to textures. What else do we have? We have normal, metallic. We have, okay, yes we do. Okay, so we're gonna use fire alpaca for this, because I'm used for, it's a TGA. Crap. Okay. We've got to use GIMP. And we should be able to drag and drop this into here. Yes, we can. So now we're going to export this as a PNG. TGAs take forever. So a lot of people are gonna create liveries, and for things like demo teams, like let's say you're making a Blue Angels team, or just a team in general with a non-generic livery, you're gonna come across wanting to keep these like little rivets and lines, because I mean it just makes everything look better when it has more detail like that instead of just one solid color. I'm going to show you all how to do that using these little mappings right here. So we're going to take this PNG into Fire Alpaca, and we're just going to make a bunch of red. So that's going to be red. We'll change all the blue to red. On most liveries, you're never going to have this option right here to where it'll like keep the lines and rivets for you. So we're just going to get rid of that just so we can reference things a little bit better. Okay, so this is a very basic texture. Actually, we'll just make everything red. How about that? Everything red. And then we will save this to Unity. Okay, cool. So now that we have our texture, let's say it's a livery, we're just going to click, drag, and drop. And then we're going to Control Z to undo it, and then we're going to use it like this. Because the SF1 is one, everything is one solid object on the SF1, so it's kind of, you have to undo it so you don't have to reassign all of these textures and stuff. Okay, so now we have our livery. We're going to go back to textures while we're selected on the material, and you can assign your detail maps. So like this, you can see it brings all of these back up. Some of the blue overlays and stuff like that will also come back up. And then you can do the metallics, so this will kind of give it a little bit of roughness. You can also put this on your detail mask or your occlusion. and this kind of just gives it that rough kind of texture to it. A little bit of shine. Occlusion is kind of iffy. You kind of got to play around with it. And then we can assign our normal maps here. So that's kind of how you keep all of these rivets and lines. It's going to be your normal maps. You'll see if I take these off, they'll disappear. So technically all you really need is the normal maps, and it'll bring up all those lines and stuff, just like this. So that way you don't have to worry about doing each individual line and rivet in your texturing software, which would be an absolute pain in the butt. So we'll keep that for now. That looks cool. So now, since we know how to assign a texture, create textures, again, with more complicated liveries, like things like, let's say VF32, that's going to take a minute. Typically what I'll do in situations like that, where it's a big aircraft, so we'll just type in VF32. So you'll see, just for now, we'll use this texture, or this image. Oh no, it's not big enough, hold on. Okay, we'll use this. So it's, if you're doing something like a Tomcat or a Hornet or a Viper or a Raptor or any airframe, like real life military airframe, chances are the textures are going to be either extremely high quality and extremely high like in physical size, so they're going to take up a lot of space. It's going to be really hard to make a good livery. So typically what I'll do, and also finding things like these little logos, numbers, signal, or these numbers and letters and fonts and stuff like that. Typically what you can do is you can type in a model sticker kit, and as ridiculous as it is, most of the time it will give you a model sticker kit that you can buy for like a physical model that you can build, and you can just copy and paste these. So like, let's say I copy this, take it in here. I'm gonna undo this real quick. Where is the, we'll just put some stuff on the, we'll put these on here. This tool, these three guys right here, are very important. They are absolute lifesavers in my eyes. I use them all of the time. It kind of helps filter out things, and then you can use this tool right here to get rid of the background stuff. That way you don't have to trace the edges. All you gotta do is do that, and then kind of clean up the 1 pixel that it will miss around the edge most of the time. Sometimes it won't. Okay, cool. Now we have a VF32 sticker. So we can put this on the wings. We can flip it using Control T. Make it look pretty. Put the feet right there. Kind of line it up. Oh, and then another thing you can do is you can use Control E to merge layers, so these two are now one. Copy, paste, and then you can just overlap it on the other part of your airframe. I also find that very useful. Most of the time everything's going to match up pretty okay. Sometimes you might have to play around with it a little bit, kind of like how I did there, but typically it'll line up pretty okay. So now we can save this, and it should automatically assign. Yes. So now you'll see, even with that texture right there, it's still giving me the lines. And the reason why this is so almost high contrast, it's going to be because of your detail map. So yeah, but we'll just use it for now. Okay, cool. So now we've got everything here. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Let's make some custom particles real quick for things like our G's. Yeah, we'll do a G real quick. So you're gonna right click, go to effects and particle system. Then we're gonna name this reference G particle. I'm just saying that so y'all know how to do it. If you haven't figured out, I use the word reference a lot. But you can just name this something like G particle. Does not really matter. But something I will say is, after you start animating it, don't change the names of anything, otherwise the animator won't detect that you changed the name and it will lose its values. So now that we're here, we have a particle system. The first thing I'm typically going to do is I'm going to go down to render, and I'm going to type in splash. So, okay. So here you go, right here. So this is a vapor texture that comes with SaccFlight. I typically use unlit because this one, it's hard to see in a lot of cases. So for now, we're just gonna use vapor unlit. I'm going to change the simulation speed because G vapor moves fast. And then we're gonna shorten the lifetime a little bit. Just until it gets about right there. Okay. So now we can change the shape into a circle, and you can kind of see where it's going for right there. You can move it around a little bit, kind of put it over the airframe or over the wings. It's another good spot, and then you can change the emission. Oh, that was one digit way too high. That's cool. I meant to put 900. I'm pretty sure I put 9,000. Yep, I put 9,000. You typically don't want to do too much because then people can see like this edge right here. So we'll change it back down to 900 here. So that looks pretty okay. You can turn off your gizmos and see how it looks. If you need to, you can also stretch this to kind of match the airframe. So like we can put it over the wings like this, and then you can also move it up just a little bit, or down depending on what you need. So you can do it like that. And then another thing, you also want to lower the transparency just a little bit. Makes it a little bit more realistic. Kind of just makes it look better. So that's our G particle. We're going to assign that to effects controller and attached effects. So now we can go into our animation and we can do G's, and then we can go all the way down to, so right here we want this to be, we're going to stop this actually. So we'll do 901, and then by here we'll do 0. So after that it's doing its job, and then right here we'll do 0.1 just for now. We'll come back to that, and then we'll do 900, go back another frame, and 0. So here it's 900, right here is 0 Gs. So 1 G is typically going to be about right here. So this will be about 1 G, 2 Gs, 3 Gs, 4 Gs, and then your vapor starts to kick in. Roughly. This might be about 3. I know up here it's about 9, so you might want to spread that out a little bit, but I know for sure this is, left side is negative, so this is your negative Gs, and then this is your positive Gs. So if we go into, we can click our Sac Air Vehicle, Shift F to follow, and then we can go into play mode here. Close the canopy. You'll also watch for our MFDs here. So gear up, flaps up, 2 seconds in, we should, yep. So now we have a radar page. And then there's our G particle that we just made. Cool. Okay, so now, what else? Okay, so now we're going to kind of move on into our terrain aspect. So, like your actual flight world, this is where things become a little bit more. You don't really have to be as detailed. It's good if you are, don't get me wrong. But in flight worlds, typically you're not on the ground a lot, for obvious reasons. So the first thing I will recommend is Blossom. So Blossom basically allows you to pull terrain from anywhere in the world. You just select coordinates up to about 50 kilometers, and Blender can replicate that and pull all the information for it. So here's the link up here. Not too crazy. You can download it for right here. It's pretty old. You will need a API code. That's something you have to buy Blossom for. So unfortunately I can't give it to you, but the base version can be downloaded for free. It doesn't allow you to do anything too much. Just basic buildings, no high quality buildings like this. Just very basic stuff. So whenever you install it, pretty sure to install it, I don't do stuff a whole lot. Yes, so you go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, you go to Install. You would figure out where you put your Blossom download. Whenever you download it, do not unzip it, keep it how it is, just download it and then install it. You can go here and you can put import export. So these are all the things that you've imported, like custom add-ons and stuff like that. And then you can refresh and you should get a little Blossom thing up here. So now you'll see I have a bunch of options for terrain, image overlays, OpenStreetMap. So this is going to be like your buildings and stuff like that. For now we're going to go into terrain, and I'm just going to use this. So this is the lowest vertex count. It is the best. It's the most optimized, but if you're going for a little bit more of a detailed flight map, you can go up to 25%, 4%, maybe even 100% if you're feeling froggy. But for now, we'll just do this. click select, it'll take you to a website, and it'll give you a rectangle to select. So we'll do, and again, this can pull anything in the world. So we're just gonna do, let's see. Hey, there's your public airport. So let's say we want terrain from Villette Airport over in Washington. So we can select up to, I'm pretty sure it's about 50 miles. Or kilometers, I'm sorry. So you can pull a pretty wide selection of terrain. You typically want to make sure your airport is in the center of that, though. So where's our airport again? It's right there. So that looks pretty okay. So we can copy this, go back to Blender and paste, and then we'll just do this, or actually we'll do this, and we'll import. Give it a sec, it'll load. Should load, at least. Should. Okay, I guess Blender's just not going to cooperate. That's cool. Oh, it did load. Cool. So now you'll see the terrain here, you'll see the outlines and stuff like that, but if you zoom out to go see where it is, you won't see it. That's because you gotta go to your view tab here and just add a bunch of nines. Cool, now you can see your terrain. You can see it's kind of got a little bit of depth to it, kind of changes in elevation, just little details. But if you go to material, you notice there's no material, so that's where you go to image overlay, and you can do something really simple. For now, we're just going to do 2056 on our texture tiling, so it's going to be pretty low quality for the most part. And while we wait for that to load, we're going to go back into here. What else do we need to do? Okay, I will start recording again whenever Blender finishes up, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Okay, so our image overlay has finally imported after a little bit. So from here, you kind of want to find where you put your airport. Typically, it should be centered, so it'll be right here, this guy. It's going to be pretty low quality, so typically what I'll do is I'll make a plane. You can size it up to scale, and you can go over it right here. I can't remember how to flatten vertices. What axis is this? So it should be Z. Yes, so Control Z to flatten all the vertices in the area. So this will kind of level everything. Pretty sure. I don't know, you might have to do some research on it. But you just want to have like where your main airbase is flat. And then from there you want to go back into your blossom and go up to your airport, get real close, and selection here, and just get that little area, and then copy it, and then go back into Blender, terrain, paste, and import. Okay, so now there's terrain here. Ignore the positioning for now. You won't really need this. You're going to go back into your image overlay, and you're going to change it to something higher. So we'll do 1080 right now. And then we'll import. So it's a much smaller area, but it's a lot bigger in size. So you'll wait for this to finish importing. And then basically all you're going to do from here is you're going to go into texture paint, and you're going to download both of these textures, and you're going to export this model. You're going to take it into Blender, and you're just going to kind of slap it together. I can't really show how to do it because I have stuff to do, and this is going to take a long time. But that's basically how you use Blender. You can go to File, export it as a FBX or OBJ, whatever you prefer. And then you can just copy and paste it in Unity, and you'll have all your terrain and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. I can't really show how to do everything. Again, I have stuff to do. But later on I will get more in depth on terrain and how to make things a little bit higher quality, especially for Quest users, and how to optimize everything for Quest, but still make it look good on PC. So that's going to be it for today. I'm open to any ideas in the comment section, so please let me know. Also, Wildfront just dropped. Please go check it out. I need visits. But go check it out. It dropped literally today. I'm still working on it, so just bear with me. Anyways, I appreciate y'all so much. See y'all later.